Nah, bro, women can't be Stoics. They're too emotional and their feelings are sacred for them. I beg to differ. Musonius Rufus, who is a great Stoic, he taught Epictetus, and Epictetus was the man that inspired Marcus Aurelius, the last great emperor of Rome. So we know Marcus Aurelius is this great figure, this great male role model, as is Epictetus. He is an incredible, formidable, strong character, remembered in history for his character. And then there is this man, Musonius Rufus, who taught Epictetus. Musonius Rufus was exiled to an island of Gyros. And when he was there, he said, this is a perfect chance for me to learn about Stoicism and to practice my principles. So he was a pretty hardcore man. Anyway, this man, Musonius Rufus, he wrote some things on Stoicism, and he said that women can be Stoics. He was one of the ancient Stoics thousands of years ago. He said women can be Stoics because to be Stoic means to live in accordance with nature, to live with virtue, and women, well, they can live in accordance with nature. It's obvious. But the point is, today's episode is a Q&A. And I got asked this question. It's more of a statement. I did a Q&A on Instagram, and I got told that, nah, bro, women can't be Stoics. And this is something I get told a lot. Anytime I say, Epictetus said women can be Stoics, he taught women and men. Musonius Rufus said the same. The founding Stoics said the same. There is famous Stoics that were women, like Portia Catanis. She was the wife of Julius Caesar's assassin, Brutus. And there's a story of her where her character was questioned. This is thousands of years ago. Her character was questioned, and the men didn't want to tell her anything because they thought if she ever got captured, she'll give up all the secrets and she'll drop them in it. So she got a knife, stabbed it straight through her leg, and she was unfazed. And she said, no amount of pain, no amount of torture will ever make me betray you, will never make me betray what I know is true and good. Just a cool story about a great woman Stoic. Anyway, women can be Stoics. But today, I'm answering questions that you asked me on Instagram. So on today's episode of The Everyday Stoic with myself, William Mulligan, author of The Everyday Stoic, Simple Rules for a Good Life, I'll be answering your questions on Stoicism and on other things. But I've picked out some of my favorites for this podcast. Today's episode is powered by Huel. Huel is a quick, affordable, nutritiously complete food with everything that your body needs. I like Huel. It's good for you and it's tasty. So let's get into these questions. If you get angry, do Stoics react immediately or wait a few seconds to answer the anger? We all get angry. And I think a lot of people believe that being Stoic means that you've mastered your emotions. You don't get angry, you don't get sad, you don't get elated. You're just there like a rock, a cold rock, and nothing phases you, and you just get on with things. Someone tries to annoy you, you don't get angry. This is not the truth. We all have a predisposition to certain feelings, certain behaviors. We're all our own unique characters based off of our genetics and our history, our upbringing, off of trauma. And these affect how we perceive things. These affect our emotions and the way we behave. So we do get angry. Anger is a natural emotion, very normal. For someone not to get angry is worrying, actually. It often means, as I found out myself, that I never got angry because I was just suppressing this anger and turning it into anxiety and illness. I was getting ill and anxious from suppressing anger. I said I never get angry, but I realized I do. So a Stoic would, maybe you're insulted by someone or someone does something that annoys you. You get that initial hit, you feel that, and as they say, the first arrow hits. The first arrow always hits, but it doesn't mean the second arrow has to hit. First arrow hits, you feel that anger, And you can assess the situation for what it is. Do you actually need to get involved? Is it beneficial for your character to get involved? Is there a better thing that you could do? Can you act on your courage rather than your irritation? And just having a little pause to reflect on these things usually leads to a better outcome. And I'm not going to tell you what to do when someone insults you, because it's up to you. Normally, I just ignore it because it's pointless, but sometimes some people like to say their truth. I think saying your truth is important. Standing up for yourself is important. So there's a balance. You've got to find that balance. Why are we so out of touch as society? I don't think we're out of touch as people believe. I think social media is so polarizing because the only thing we see are the things that are either incredibly offensive or incredibly alluring. We don't see the mundane stuff because it doesn't get likes, it doesn't get shared. So we only see the stuff that's very controversial, very polarizing. And this is why it seems like we're so out of touch, because the only things that reach our radar are the things that seem way out of touch, these ideas are pretty crazy. Because the normal things just don't reach our radar. But if you go out into the world, you turn off social media for a few weeks, or like I did for almost a year, and you go out into the real world, you realize people are pretty normal. People are pretty grounded and down to earth. I think it's people that are wrapped up in all this noise. They seem out of touch. But if you can get them in a place where they're grounded, out in nature, you go for a hike with them, you'll start to say, we're not so different. We're pretty similar. We're seeing things eye to eye. It's this polarization on social media that creates such a divide and this feeling of being out of touch. But to get in touch, just stay away from these things for a while. Get out in nature, talk to people. It's funny, my friend recently was saying that when we grow up and they say, don't talk to strangers, and we keep this advice in our head, he said it's the biggest load of rubbish. Because it just shuts you off from people with opposing views or different perspectives on life. You don't talk to people, you never learn that there's different ways of thinking, and we get out of touch. So talk to people, get in touch. And I'm not saying go to the random stranger on the street and put yourself in danger, but it's good to talk to people, get other people's perspectives, because if you never talk, then you create your own narratives, they create their own narratives, and there's no connection, there's no truth there. How to be consistent despite the bad times in life. This is my thoughts on this. The reason people struggle with consistency is because the only driving force is motivation. And motivation doesn't always last, because if you ever become depressed, you ever get hit with bad news, you're struggling, you're ill, then with depression, motivation dwindles. And people say, just get more motivated. It can be impossible for people. Some people are born a certain way. Some people grow up a certain way where motivation is easier. I grew up where motivation was like second nature. Everyone in my family just had this motivation. I think it was from my upbringing, and it was the easiest thing. But when times get hard, as the question says, despite the bad times in life, you need energy, you need desire, excitement. So motivation can push you through, but desire will pull you through. So when the times are hard, it will keep pulling you. And this comes from creating excitement about your goal. Create a mood board. Write down what you want to achieve, what it will do for you. And I'm not saying getting your goal will change your life. It won't. Or it can do. But oftentimes, if we put our hopes and emotions and we hang them on this goal, we attach them to this goal, when we get there, we've lost all the hope we had because we've finally got this thing. And then all the hope that was there is depleted and we're left with nothing. It's true. That's why a lot of people, we hear about like Tyson Fury wanted to be heavyweight champion. When he got there, he said he felt worse than ever because the only thing that was getting him through was this hope of becoming the heavyweight champion. And now it became this thing. There's no hope. It's all gone. So create a bit of excitement, create a bit of energy. Energy is super important. Getting rest, getting in a good mood, getting out in nature, feeling good. Feeling good is the best way to be motivated, to keep going on your goals. Because when you're feeling down, when you're feeling depressed, if you have depression, it can feel impossible to do things. So if you're feeling this way, seek help, get help, talk to people, get in a better environment. Because the way I did it is by having excitement towards the goal. That's what always kept me motivated when me and my brothers were starting our company. We had this goal in front of us that was so exciting that I woke up wanting to do this thing. Whereas motivation, you wake up going through drudgery, pushing yourself through this thing. And it's just not nice. It's not nice. And it does work, but it's not the way you want to be. What would you say is the secret to a fulfilling life? I'm only going to talk from personal experience because I don't know about other people and we're all different. I tell you that producing, getting, achieving, obtaining, these things will not lead to a fulfilling life. This take, you're taking from life. This will not lead to a fulfilling life. But the feeling, the experiencing, the being, as they say, we're not human doings, we're human beings. Being and experiencing and being present, that's, I believe, is the secret to a fulfilling life. Being in the here and now, feeling what is, experiencing what is, being grateful for what is, because all we ever have is the now. And if you hang your emotions, you hang things on the future, you say, when I get this, I'll be happy. When I get there, I'll be happy. When I get this job, when I get this relationship, I'll finally feel fulfilled. But all doing that does is make you a person that has a habit of putting off their happiness for the future. So when you finally get that job, you'll go, when I actually get the promotion of the next job, then I'll actually be happy. When I get more money, when I get settled down, when I get married, when I graduate, that's when I'll be finally happy. This is just destination addiction, and a lot of humans suffer with it. They just want to get to that next step, and thinking when they get to that next step, they'll finally settle down. But all you do is create the habit of going to the next step, and you will be on your deathbed going, why didn't I stop and enjoy and appreciate life? So just stop being a human doing and start being a human being. As cheesy as it sounds, does Stoic mind have an empathy towards others? This is a real big misconception about Stoicism, is that they are not loving, caring, empathetic, when it's completely wrong. That is the wrong idea of Stoicism. And I always mention this in the first page of the Meditations. I wrote this many years ago. I wrote notes that I learned from the Stoics, and they were just notes. But I noticed a common theme that all of them were about having good friends, about being caring, about trying to strive towards benevolence, to being loving. Marcus Aurelius, who wrote his letters to his mentor, he expresses his love to his mentor a lot, which seems very odd for this emperor to be saying how much he loves this other man. You know, people think it's strange that these people didn't express their love back then. And they believe that Stoics didn't express their love. But that's far from the truth. It's about being in tune with our emotions, understanding our emotions, understanding them fully, so we know what can harm us and what can help us. And empathy towards others is a beautiful gift, but empathy towards ourselves is also a beautiful gift. I remember hearing recently from Garba Mate, without compassion, you will never be able to share your truth. And this is the same for other people. Without showing compassion, they'll never be able to share their truth with you because they're scared. They're worried of judgment. Empathy is very important, especially as a Stoic. Quick word for today's sponsor, Huel. Huel is a quick, affordable, nutritiously complete food with everything that your body needs. I love Huel. Huel is tasty, it's healthy, it makes me feel good that I'm eating something healthy. But also, you know, being a bit of a food snob, I cook my meals from scratch every single day, or my partner, she cooks our meals from scratch every single day. I love food, and I'm very happy with my Huel. If life gets a bit too busy, then I'm so happy I have Huel there because it's so quick to set up, and it's tasty and it's healthy, and it stops you from grabbing those unhealthy, expensive snacks. Let's get back into the rest of the episode. What are 5 books that I need to add to my reading list ASAP? Depends where you start in. Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, the discourses and selected writings of Epictetus, Letters from a Stoic, Seneca. Type in Donald Robertson, get all of his books. They're incredible. Massimo Pigliucci, William B. Irvine. These books are amazing. Really recommend them. And I do recommend, because recently I've got a great interest in Ryan Holiday, and I think his books get a lot of criticism for some strange reason. I was reading Ego is the Enemy recently, and I thought this is a great book. It's very great. Yeah, it branches off Stoicism quite a lot, but I think if you understand Stoicism enough and you read these other writings, then they go hand in hand. Ryan Holiday's books go hand in hand with Stoicism very well, actually. So Donald Robertson, Massimo Pigliucci, William B. Irvine, and if you're a parent, then Brittany Polat's Tranquility Parenting. I love that book. I read it before I became a parent, and it was very helpful. And I forgot the most important, The Everyday Stoic, Simple Rules for a Good Life. That's my book. I do actually recommend this, and that's not a lie. I do recommend this book as an introduction, first of all, to Stoicism, because it's so clearly understood as, I didn't get this education. I was a bricklayer, I was a cleaner, chef, painter, decorator. Anyway, I didn't understand these big fancy words and all this history, but I read Stoicism for over a decade, and I began to understand it practically on how to use it in your life to become a better person. And it helped me to go from anxious and scared and feeling like I had no control in this world, feeling like sort of just a leaf blowing in the wind, to now I feel like I have control. I'm not going to say I feel like the wind, because that's odd, but you know what I mean. I do really recommend this book. It's very practical, and I think as an entrance in Stoicism, I'd say it's the best entrance in Stoicism, and it's an amazing guide with Stoicism, with practical steps, practical exercises. Maybe I'm biased, let me know. Minor things / habits in our daily life which majorly contribute in the development of a Stoic mind. I would say 2 very important minor habits that instantly life-changing. Number 1 is memento mori, and I talk about this all the time. Memento mori is just a remembrance of death, and I know if you're a regular viewer, you're probably bored of me talking about memento mori, but I do sell a calendar that's a memento mori calendar that's such a powerful tool. It's this vivid reminder of your own mortality. And I write about it in my book. There's a chapter on memento mori in my book. There's many great methods, but simply, and the one I use constantly, I use right now actually, but one that anyone can use without paying money, although I would like if you buy my book, but this is free. So this is for everyone. I'm talking to you right now. As you're watching this video, just imagine this is your last moment on earth. This is it. This is all you got. And you're doing what you're doing now. I'm not saying go quickly, run, skydive, eat your favorite food. I'm not saying this kind of thing. You're just doing what you're doing right now, because this is a mindset you take into every aspect of your life. You're sat here, maybe you're on the bus listening to this podcast. Look around. Listen to my words. Be present in this moment. It's amazing. It's a gift. 1 in 400 trillion. The odds of us actually being here right now. And we've got it. And you're looking out the window, looking at the trees, the birds, the people, the cars, the buildings, all these interesting things, the weather, the people on the bus talking about interesting, unique things. Their perspective is intriguing. Their lifestyles are unique. And you can just look around and appreciate the moment for what it is. It's beautiful. It's a rarity. And it's a gift from the universe. And that's the end of the exercise. I do this all the time. And the more I do this, the more I sit and just get so much passion for the moment. Like right now, as I'm talking on this podcast, and this is why recently with my talking, I've become more expressive, more passionate. And you might be able to see it if you watch my old episodes, because I'm truly present and trying to give everything to this present moment. And my goal in this present moment is to give this message to you, the listener, to the best of my ability, because that's what I'm fulfilling this moment with. That's my purpose right now. And remembering that I'm mortal is so powerful. It makes me go, if I was to die right now, as I'm dying, will I go, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I gave it my all. And yeah, it makes me, appreciate my loved ones. It makes me do that thing that I've been putting up. It's an incredible tool. And it sounds morbid, but it can change your life. The only thing I say, the only caveat is if it leads to rumination or anxious thoughts, then don't do it. Maybe get help, or just don't do it, because I don't want that. I don't wish that upon anyone. So the next thing is similar thought is to be present. This is the only thing that exists, this present moment. Stop thinking there'll be answers in the future. Stop assessing the past. You can't change the past. You can't change the future. All you have is right now, and it's amazing. So something I've been doing recently is rewarding myself. I was given this advice from a mentor, is to reward myself for being present, for not being dependent on the future, not assessing the moment and criticizing it, not thinking I should be doing something else. And she said, when I'm in the present moment and just enjoying it, just reward myself, give myself a pat on the back and say, well done. You're appreciating life, the only thing we have. Well done. And that's a recent thing for rewarding myself being present. It's changed my life. I feel like so enthusiastic, so positive. It's amazing. So the next question is, can I still be stoic even though I have vices? So when I say that the only good is virtue, the only bad is vice, there's a different meaning to this that the Stoics had. And I'm not saying, modern belief of vices, doing things like, drinking, smoking, these kind of things, having your vices, that's actually not considered bad by the Stoics. That's just considered dispreferred indifference. In most cases, it can be a preferred indifference, but it's just things you don't want to do. They're not necessarily bad. They're not necessarily good. They can be good. They can be bad. So can you still be stoic? Yeah, you just want to work away from these. You don't want to keep aiming towards these things. And how to do this is to understand that these things are not valuable to you. Because as Epictetus says, we move towards what we think is of value to us. And oftentimes we think having that cigarette, having that drink is of value. It'll help me relax. It'll get me past this itchy feeling. It'll make me feel better. Anyway, so they're of value to us. But if we understand that what's more important is our character and not doing these things, our health, not doing these things, not smoking, not drinking, when that's of such important value, we go, no, that will relax me for a few minutes. It will ruin my character, ruin my health, make me waste that money. That's not of value to me. So change your values. And you have to understand with self-love, that's the biggest shift in values. How to surround ourselves with those who call forth our best without judging them. This is a very slow process in life. It comes through lots of failed friendships, lots of mistakes, lots of hurt. The only way you can do this is just to seek your truth, seek what is best for you, to love yourself. And this sounds odd. I was speaking to a friend yesterday about this actually, is a true friend, a real friend, if you say to them, I've got to stop partying, I have to stop partying for my mental health, I just can't do it anymore. A true friend will go, yeah, that's good. I can try help you there. I can try help you get better. Or, yeah, this is what you need. But a fake friend, someone that just sees you as a jigsaw piece in their life that fulfills a certain role in their life, they will say, no, come on, let's drink, let's go out. Because you fulfill a role in their life. And that's all that is. That's not friendship. The true friend will let you live their life if they think that's what's best. So it's just about loving yourself, being selfish sometimes, seeing your truth. And then you'll start to find the people that stick around and accept you when you express your truth. These are true friends. Started a new job, a responsible one. Anxiety and apprehension is going wild. Any help? Well done. Congratulations to you for starting a new job. There's more to the message, but I assume it's a good job, a job you're happy about, a job you're excited for. And excitement often feels like anxiety and apprehension. It feels the same. So be happy you've got this job, appreciate it for what it is, and just know that these are natural feelings. Feeling anxious, feeling apprehension towards something that is of great importance to you is normal. It's your body psyching you up. When I go and do podcasts, before it, I get a bit nervous. I get a bit of that feeling like, but it's excitement. It's me going, oh, wow, I'm going to talk to this person. They're very knowledgeable. What am I going to ask them? I can't wait to talk to them. And you get all these feelings bubbling up and they're bouncing around inside you. And if you don't really understand the process, that this is just the excitement, this is your body preparing yourself for this moment, then it can feel uncomfortable. I used to always think like, oh, what's this horrible feeling in my chest? Now I'm like, I'm excited. I'm ready to do this. I'm prepared. I'm feeling sharp. My body's got me. My mind's got me on top form. I'm ready for this. Because if you didn't have these feelings, and when it approaches your new job, you'd be blasé. You'd be not too interested. And this will show. So well done on your new job. And I hope you're crushing it. Can teens and young adults be stoic? I consider myself a young adult. No, I don't know the age for young adults. And anyone can be stoic. Anyone can be stoic as long as they're living in accordance with stoic values and stoic principles. Anyone, any religion, any sex, any race, any background, any mistakes, anyone can be stoic. And that's that. Why is Stoicism not attributed to women? Because in olden times, only men really had access to philosophy. Stoicism was taught to everyone in the streets by Zeno of Citium, but it was more popular with men because men were taught it. It was reserved for men, and women had their roles in society at those times. And things don't change too much. Men have a bigger interest in Stoicism, and I think it's often aimed towards men. It's marketed towards men. It's changing. I'm seeing a shift, and it's amazing. I'm seeing a lot more women getting involved in Stoicism. I think it's incredible. But, we had these three famous figures, and we're lucky to have these figures to be remembered. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. They're so famous. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous people in history. But they're all men, and this is where all this 99% of Stoic literature comes from, is these three men. So that's how Stoicism's remembered, really. But yeah, there's many famous Stoic women and modern women. Some women's teaching Stoicism, like I said earlier, Brittany Polat. Her book's incredible. Check it out. I think you have to look for these things and you'll start to see that there is more women in Stoicism than you think. How do I get over the feeling that everyone hates me? It's hard to say. A lot of these feelings, because you don't actually know what these people are thinking. So the feeling of everyone hates you is an internal feeling. It's your own judgment. So this can come from a lack of self-love, a lack of self-understanding. It can come from trauma. It can come from upbringing. It's really hard to say, but I think the first step is to love yourself, to understand your truth and be honest with yourself, because this feeling that everyone hates you will actually affect your interactions with these people that you think hate you, and it will make you less of yourself around them. It will make you less of that person that has the potential to be loved. You're being a shell of yourself because you're fearing judgment that you're creating. Not everyone hates you. I don't hate you. So not everyone hates you, and I'm sure many other people love you. Just love yourself first. That's the most important thing. Why doesn't emotion feature in Stoicism? And this is the last question. Emotion does feature in Stoicism. This is that common misconception that Stoics don't have emotion. If you read the Stoics, you'll see they talk extensively about emotion. They had a very amazing understanding of emotion, actually, that's comparable to our modern day understanding, and it's quite surprising. So Stoics do talk about emotions, they do understand their emotions, and they accept their emotions as they are. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of The Everyday Stoic with myself, William Mulligan, author of The Everyday Stoic, Simple Rules for a Good Life. My book that you can get now is available on Amazon in the UK, and it's available for pre-order in the States and US, and it is coming soon. I'm receiving my American copy soon. I'm very excited for it. I'm very excited to see it. I'll be sharing that an unboxing video of that when I get it. I'm very excited. And today's episode was powered by Huel. Huel is a quick, affordable, nutritiously complete food with everything that your body needs. And if you have any interest in Huel products, then click the link in the description. I recommend Huel. I do actually recommend Huel personally. I use Huel myself. I love Huel. I love the taste. I love feeling healthy. And it kills my cravings for unhealthy food. When I'm busy, I want to go shops to get unhealthy food, spend a load of money. I just have my Huel meal or my drink, whatever it is, and I can quickly have it in less than 5 minutes. I've got it, and it's something tasty. They actually are really delicious. And I'm a bit of like a food snob because I nearly always cook my own meals, or my partner, she cooks our meals. Always. Don't really like putting things in the oven. It's always freshly made food. And I love Huel. So that's my thoughts. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, because every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be sharing an episode, either a solo episode or an episode with a special guest. So thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.